AI is the most powerful tool for real estate agents since the iPhone, maybe even since the internet itself. But I bet you that you're not using it as effectively as you could. You're leaving so much money on the table not knowing what AI like ChatGPT and Gemini and some of the others can do for you. And so today I'm going to break down what is possible with AI for realtors right now today, and then stick through to the end because I'm going to break down what's about to be possible, like what the next level is, what's coming soon, because this is some crazy stuff that's about to happen, and most of it's free. So if you've been wondering how you can get in on AI and use it to your advantage, this is the episode for you. Let's go. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 371 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm, here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And today we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, some ET shit. And wasn't ET like, no, that's extraterrestrial. Yeah, I'm thinking, regardless, erase that. Just completely erase that from your memory, if you would. We're talking AI today. I know on one hand, it's scary and kind of freaky of what it could eventually become, what it could eventually do. But right now, with what's in front of our face, AI, for me personally, has been a big game changer. I've been so much more productive. I've been able to do better work. I've been able to put out better stuff that's more helpful and impactful. It's saved me a ton of time. It saved me a ton of money by not needing to hire certain people. And it's just insane to me that now in 2025, there's still realtors that are not utilizing the free AI tools that are out there. ChatGPT is the big one. Google has Gemini. There's Perplexity, which is the search engine. If you like want a replacement for Google, Perplexity is fantastic. There's Claude, Llama. Like, I don't use most of that shit. I use ChatGPT. I've dabbled with Gemini. I recently did a free trial of their Gemini Pro. Spoiler alert, I thought it was garbage. It didn't seem that great to me, at least for what I use it for. If I was in Silicon Valley or something like that, maybe I could see a use for it. There's just so much it can do. So what do you as a realtor need to be using AI for right now today to save yourself time, to save yourself money, to get so much more done in a shorter amount of time, and just to do better work? So I'm going to break down how I'm using it now, some of the ways that I use it, because I use it multiple times a day, every single day, like many times a day. ChatGPT is my go-to assistant. I pay for it, so I use the paid version so I can have the most up-to-date version, the smartest, most capable version of it. I don't do the $200 a month one, but with what I'm going to tell you about here with their new operator release, I'm going to have to upgrade to the $200 a month because I'll get there. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. AI is just really freaking cool. But real quick, if this is timely, okay, if you're watching this on Wednesday on YouTube, because if you didn't know, this podcast comes out on Wednesdays, a day before the audio podcast on YouTube. So if you're watching this on Wednesday, stay tuned. If you're listening to this as soon as it downloaded Thursday morning, stay tuned. There's still time to jump on my free training on how I built my business around freedom and lifestyle, and how I make five or six times more money now than I ever did as a solo agent. I'm going to be breaking down my business model, how I built it, the steps I took to go from solo agent to where I am now, and some things that you can piece on. I'm going to show you some things that you can piece onto your current business right now to start making a ton more money that isn't tied to your personal activity. Go to massiveagentwebinar.com right now. It's on Thursday, the day this podcast comes out on the audio platforms, Thursday at I think 1 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you register. I will be sending out a replay. If you can't make it, register. I'll get the replay for you. And I believe this is one of those trainings that could make your entire year, could even make your entire career. I believe it's the most valuable training you will attend this year. MassiveAgentWebinar.com. Jump on it if you are not registered yet. Okay, so here's how I'm using ChatGPT right now. I told you that I use the paid version of ChatGPT. It's, I think, $30 a month. I think it's $30 a month. It gives me the smartest, most current version of it, which right now is ChatGPT 4.0. And my wife uses the free version. For her, it's totally fine, totally sufficient. She loves it. It even has the voice thing. Like, Here's what's cool. You could be driving in the car and have a literal conversation with your voice with ChatGPT. It'll talk back to you. You can talk back to it. You can literally have a conversation with the AI tool to flesh out ideas or to brainstorm something or to problem solve or even to role play. If you're on your way to a listing presentation, if you prompt it the right way and say, hey, you are this person, you are this seller, here's what your concerns are, here's what your objections are, and I'm a real estate agent and we're going to role play. As long as you can give it a great prompt, you can just role play in the car on the way to an appointment. Really, really cool stuff. But what I use it most for right now is copy, like writing emails, coming up with post ideas, coming up with scripts. I use it every single week for this podcast. If I know exactly what the podcast is going to be about, I ask it to summarize and say, based on this topic, give me some talking points, give me some things that I may not have considered to make this podcast better. And it always gives me something that I wasn't quite thinking about. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, I'm going to add that to my notes and make sure that I hit that. That's a great idea. If I don't know what I'm going to do the podcast about, I'll just say, hey, based on everything you know about me, based on my audience, based on my personality and the types of shows that I like to do and the goals that I have, what the whole point of the podcast is, which is to help agents build businesses. What should I do my podcast about this week? Here's what's cool. It's not just like an in-out thing. It learns over time. So ChatGPT knows everything I've ever asked it. It knows my personality. It knows who my audience is. It knows what I'm trying to do. It knows what I've done in the past. It knows all the podcast episodes I've done in the past. So it knows all of that. Like, it remembers better than I do. So that's why I say, hey, based on my objective with the podcast, who my audience is, what should I talk about? And then it's not like, oh, you should talk about, the commercial real estate, blah, blah, blah. And, whatever. It knows exactly what the objective of this podcast is and gives me really good ideas on what to talk about. So if you're doing any kind of content creation, a podcast, social media videos, emails, as long as you tell it who your ideal audience is, what their pain points are, what they struggle with, what they need to know, and then how you're trying to help them, it can give you really, really good advice. And I wouldn't say, so when it gives me ideas for a podcast or for an email, like a marketing email blast or something, I usually, it's very, very rare that I'll just take it, copy and paste it and use it word for word. But it gets me 80, 90% of the way there. And then I'm like, oh, cool. Let's reword this. It gives you so much good stuff. If you find that it's giving you really formal sounding stuff, you have to train it with your voice. So luckily with my podcast, after I record the episode, every week I take the transcript. So I just copy that I use Riverside, Riverside.fm to record my show. It gives me a quick, copy. I push one button, it copies the whole transcript of the show. I paste it into ChatGPT and I say, hey, here's the episode this week. Here's the transcript. Now, based on my personality, based on the way that I say things, based on my audience and my objective for the show, write some great show notes and summarize the episode. And by the way, I need YouTube chapters with timestamps and give me some ideas for the YouTube thumbnail. And it spits it all out in my personality, worded the way that I say things. And it knows because I've literally given it the transcript of the way that I say everything. So it has now dozens and dozens and dozens of episodes of hearing me the way that I speak. So you can train it. You could say, hey, here's my personality based on these emails that I've written, or these audio transcripts, or these social media posts, or this YouTube video link. Like, you could say, watch, based on this YouTube video, write something with that personality in that voice. It's just incredible stuff, but it still only gets me 80, 90% of the way there. I make some tweaks, I upload it. I go back and forth with ChatGPT a lot just to make sure, like, hey, this is great, but what about this? Or, hey, let's make it more concise. Or earlier today, I was like, how do I reword this still in my personality, but to make sure it's under 2,200 characters? Because I was putting a post in my Instagram broadcast channel and there's a character limit, right? So I'm like, reword this to be under this character limit, but make sure that it maintains the format, the personality and all that. And it did. So you've got, here's what's cool about AI. It's teaching me how to be very, very, very specific about everything. I have to consider all the different things because it only knows what you tell it, right? And of course, because it learns and gets smarter, it can kind of see what I've done in the past. And so it can have a pretty good idea of what I'm about to ask it. But if I want a specific outcome, I have to be very specific. And it's teaching me to be a better communicator as far as that goes, which is crazy. It's helped me be a better parent. I'm more specific in instructions that I give to my kids. Just incredible. So I use it for a lot of content. It makes copy more concise. If you struggle with what to post about on social, or maybe you want to write a big long LinkedIn post or a Facebook post or even an email to your clients, if you write this big long thing, you could say, hey, make this more concise, cut this in half, make it powerful, make sure that it's optimized for SEO. If it's something like, if it's a blog post or something like that, your emails, you don't really give a shit about SEO because it's an email, but it can do all those things. It can, if you don't know what to post in the first place, you say, hey, here's my audience. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I'm trying to help them with. Give me 35 Instagram post ideas to do a video about today. Then you go through, some of them are going to be shit. Some of them are going to be great. The ones that are great, you take those. Hey, tell me more about this. How should I start the video? Give me 10 great hooks based on that topic to start the video, to grab attention and keep people watching. And then it gives you some hooks, and then you pick one of those. And so it's just like having one of the smartest marketers on the planet sitting next to you at all times. You just have to know how to grab the information out of it. But as you use it more and more and more, it already anticipates and knows what you want anyways. So it just gets better and better. I used ChatGPT a lot as I was creating the Massive Agent Business Accelerator, as I was creating content for it. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to talk about, but I used it to help me organize my thoughts on how to make it flow week to week so that it wasn't just, from one topic to another and have things not flow very well. I used it to reword things. I used it to elaborate. I used it to hey, what am I not considering in this scenario? Absolutely. Like for $30 a month, it's got to be the best $30 a month I've ever spent on anything ever. I don't even know what else would be best. What would beat it? So really impressive. And last thing I'm going to say about content creation, because a lot of you follow someone or people and you want to do your own version of what they're putting out. They do certain videos and you want to do your own version with your own spin on it. What you can do is say, hey, look at these posts, and you can put in Instagram links. You could do YouTube links. You could do, just links to it. You could even say, hey, check out so-and-so on Instagram based on their style of video. How, what are some ideas that I could do for my own Instagram? Help me write posts that are like this. Help me write my own, let's say you follow a fitness or a nutrition influencer, and you like the format of the videos they're doing or the posts they're doing. You can say, hey, based on that, help me come up with a post for my audience, for my niche or whatever the hell, using their format. Help me make something like that, but it's for my people, is basically what you're saying. If you're not using it at a minimum for what I just described, start immediately. You've got learning how to speak AI is going to be 100% required for every real estate agent on the planet. Why? I firmly believe that AI, at least not any time in the near future, AI will not put realtors out of business. However, realtors who embrace and use and leverage AI will put agents out of business that don't use it. I 1000% agree with that. And that is true. So here's what just got released the other day. I have not used this yet. I've just done enough research to realize I need to pay the $200 a month to OpenAI to get this because of what it can do. I just described my whole workflow and how I use ChatGPT. Aside from my kids ask it questions. Hey, what about this person or this, this scenario back in history, or what's the biggest volcano on earth, and when was the last time it erupted, and why did it erupt? My kids love it for that. But for business stuff, how I just described it is what I mostly use it for today. I don't use it for creating images. I don't, because it doesn't do text on images very well yet. But there are AI tools that can clone your voice, that can create videos of you talking that looks exactly like you, but it's not. You're just like texting, like, here's what I want this video to say, and it creates video of you saying those things. For lead response, incredible. Imagine if you could respond to literally every lead instantly, and it personalized, hey, Sarah, hey, Jody, hey, Sam, just based on their name, and it automatically puts their name in your mouth and you say it with your, just incredible. That's possible today. I don't personally use it for that. And that's a little bit more advanced, but it is possible today. Here's what's about to be possible, or actually is, if you have the OpenAI operator. It's called Operator. You can research. It can literally do tasks on your behalf on the internet. So it using an internet browser, you can tell OpenAI Operator to order you a Starbucks Grande hazelnut latte and deliver it to your office. You can say, hey, do this. And it will literally go to, it'll go to Uber Eats or whatever, and it'll put it all in. You may have to like do some login credentials, but it can do that for you, right? As simple as that is. I saw an example online. I learn about a lot of this stuff on X because there's just so many people posting use cases and examples. It showed that by using Operator, it said, every time a black car drives by, so it was a video feed. It was like a security camera. I think it was like in New Orleans in the French Quarter or something. And it said, every time a black car drives by, log the timestamp in Google Sheets or in a Google Doc. And so it's watching this video feed. A black car goes by, boom, it goes over to Google Docs, puts the timestamp. And it's just, you see these timestamps just one after another add up. And so after a while, you can say, all right, I have this surveillance footage. Here's all the times a black car drove by, and you have all the timestamps. That's one example. What I saw an immediate use for was helping me to not just come up with ideas for marketing content, but to actually research, compile, implement, and create. So the first thing I thought of, now this is a new concept, there will be so many more ideas, and I might even come up with one off the top of my head, but the one I have written down is, if you do an email newsletter, most of the time, the reason why realtors are not consistent with email newsletters to your database of clients is you run out of ideas. You run out of shit to send them, right? Well, what if you could tell Operator, look for these things, look for these updates, go search these blogs, look for things to do on the weekends, look for events happening in my neighborhood, look for, newsworthy stories in my city, compile them in a list, then go and, based on what you think would be the most clickable, what would be the most attention grabbing, take this story, write a great hook for it, put it into MailChimp or put it into your CRM or whatever. And basically, like, it's putting a bunch of clips into your CRM and creating an email newsletter for you. It can do all that stuff. You've got to teach it how to do it, but it's an agent. Operator is an agent doing things on your behalf in the background. And the limit to that is, there's almost no limit to that. So even though I gave you a very specific example with like creating email newsletters and like literally creating the newsletter for you, it can do so much more. It can do research. It can notify you when certain homes are sold, all this stuff. I mean, like more so than just the MLS hot sheets. So that's happening right now. And it's still, as a recording, it's just a few days old. But here's what is going to be possible with AI for real estate very, very, very soon. And for this, I'm using ChatGPT, and I said, hey, based on, here's the prompt that I gave it. And I'm going to go through each one of these. I'm going to describe it of what's going to be possible soon. And but here's the prompt that I gave ChatGPT in order to get the results that it's spitting out. I said, based on all your knowledge of what AI could eventually be used for, describe some mind-blowing scenarios that AI can and will be used for in the real estate space, either by agents or large companies like Zillow, the MLSs, large brokerages, etc. In other words, what will AI soon be able to do in real estate that we don't comprehend yet? So here's some ideas. They listed 12 of them. Some of them are shit, but some of them are really interesting. Hyper-personalized buyer matching. AI could soon create a matchmaking platform for home buyers, similar to dating apps like Tinder, but for real estate. Instead of generic MLS searches, AI will learn from buyers' preferences at a granular level, everything from their favorite interior design style to how much sunlight they like in their kitchen. So buyers could be able to answer a few questions or even upload photos of homes that they like or features they love, and AI would present properties that perfectly match those. How incredible is that? Rather than just like clicking a few fields in an MLS, like this is the next level. It's like, hey, here's some photos, find me stuff like that. The next level feature, AI could predict homes that aren't even on the market yet, but are likely to go up for sale soon based on predictive analytics and patterns in property owner behavior. Incredible. Like we're going to get to that one. That's going to come up more and more here because there's already predictive analytics and what do they call them? Lead something triggers, like credit triggers, where if somebody applies for a loan or if somebody is searching for like on mortgage calculators, you can buy leads based on those credit triggers that it gives you a list of people who are most likely about to list their house, most likely about to move based on the activities that they do online. That already exists. You can already find those lead sources out there. But what if you could just do it for free based on the tools that you have? Here's another example of what could soon be possible with AI in the real estate world: instantaneous real estate transactions. Now, I know this has been a fear for so many in our industry for a long time. I don't think agents need to fear it. Well, I don't think good agents need to fear. I think the shitty ones that don't really do much more than just like put a sign in the yard, open some doors, push a few buttons. Like if you're not really providing much value to your clients, I would worry about this. But if you're a good real estate agent, this will help you. So imagine a world where real estate transactions are completed in minutes, not weeks or months. AI combined with blockchain technology, which has existed for years, could make this a reality. AI could verify the buyer and seller's credentials. It could pull all the necessary public records, so it could do all the title work, all the title searches and everything. It could generate and analyze contracts instantly. It could automate the negotiation process with algorithms that optimize for the needs of both parties. So what will be impacted? Title searches, escrow, mortgage approvals could be handled almost instantly, cutting out the usual bottlenecks and creating a truly seamless buying process. How cool would it be if you would be more valuable as a good real estate agent? Because what that scenario does not give is great advice, right? There's still so many factors. Do they need to sell their house first before they can buy a new one? Do they need a lease back, right? Are they moving across country? Why are they moving? Like, why are they selling? There's so many things that you can still help people navigate. But as far as like the transactional logistical stuff, that can all be automated and instantized pretty quick. Like that technology already exists. It's just about putting the pieces together. That's going to cut out a lot of the mortgage and the title part of the industry, unfortunately, at some point. So get ready for that. That will happen eventually. Here's another one. Predictive selling platforms. Large companies like Zillow or the MLSs could use AI to predict when homeowners are likely to sell their homes based on life events, financial trends, or local market conditions. AI could analyze public records like divorces, deaths, new births, relocations. AI could analyze utility usage spikes or declines that indicate a home might be vacant or that people are downsizing if kids move out of the house, right? There's going to be less utility, like less electricity, less water being used, and it can see that over time. Social media AI could also analyze social media activity, suggesting life changes like a new job in another city or a birth or a death. The result is agents could get notifications about likely sellers before they ever consider listing their home, giving an agent a chance to reach out proactively. You don't think Zillow is working on the ability to do that? To have proactive leads where they know where they know a lead is about to become a lead before it does? Of course, they're working on that, as they should. MLSs should also, but I bet they'll be slow to the race. Here's another one. This one's kind of boring, but dynamic market forecasting. AI will soon be able to provide real-time, hyper-localized market forecasts to agents and buyers. Imagine if you had neighborhood pricing information up to the minute, or literally up to the second. This, for example, this neighborhood is projected to see a 12% price increase in the next 6 months due to an influx of tech professionals, 2 new schools opening nearby, a new shopping center, a new park, a new train station, right? So buyers and sellers could make smarter decisions, and agents could better advise their clients with dynamic market forecasting. There's some immersive virtual showings with AI personalization. I mean, you just imagine what's possible there. AI-driven property development, sentiment-based pricing. See, a lot of this stuff just sounds nerdy as hell. I don't know how this one would be possible, but I'm going to read it anyways. All right. The first, as soon as I read this, you're going to be like, you're all going to have the same objection, but I'm going to read it anyways, because let's think outside the box for a second. Imagine buying a home that's already tailored to your exact needs before you move in. AI could coordinate with builders and contractors to make this happen. For example, AI analyzes your tastes and your requirements, it'll design renovations and upgrades virtually, and even coordinates contractors to come in and complete the work before you ever close on the house. So buyers could move into a home that's already perfect for them, eliminating the hassle of remodeling after the purchase. Now, if you're buying an existing home, how are you going to do that until you own it? And why would you, right? We all have the same objection. Why would you remodel a house that you don't own yet in case something happens there? But if it's so much more automated and it cuts out so much more of the BS and the surprises, and if you know right in the beginning, this is going to close, stuff like that will become more possible. In today's world, it's like, why would the hell would you ever remodel a house before you actually own it? But let's fast forward to a different world than it is today. Smart homes that work with AI agents. AI could integrate. This is the last one I'm going to read you, and then we'll give you some takeaways. AI could integrate with smart homes to create an ongoing relationship between agents and their clients long after the sale. Smart homes could alert agents when systems need repairs or upgrades, prompting follow-up calls to the homeowners. So you could provide a lot more value to your buyers and sellers if you know that their heater just went out or their fridge needs a new filter or whatever. You could track property value changes in real time, right? No more of this lagging stuff. Like if you could have a Zestimate that was actually like considering the interior of the home, and it had all the sales data up to the second. Just imagine how valuable your CMA would be, right? Of course, you could automate that. You could put it on a website, and if your website had it, that's going to be a destination people want to go. Versus, hey, here's what we think your home could be worth because of homes that have sold in the last 6 months. It's like, no, what's happening today, right now? That data will soon become real time in the future in all ways, and that's pretty wild. So there's a lot of other things here. Okay, one last one, because this is super interesting. Real estate as a subscription model. I've heard this one before. Again, think outside the box. AI could help large companies like Zillow or Redfin transition real estate into a subscription-based model. And I'm not talking about renting. Buyers could subscribe to a home as a service program where AI matches them with short-term or long-term rental homes based on their needs and handles everything from leasing to furnishing. So the traditional buy and sell model could transform into a dynamic on-demand housing solution. Like, what if you could move every 3 weeks based on your needs? And you just like moved in to exactly what you need, and you're just subscribing to housing? It's a wild concept, but that will be possible soon. And I know that there's even some startups that have tried this and have floated this, especially in the like apartment rental space. I know that there's one working on this right now. I forget the name of it. I believe it was, I believe it's a startup that one of the founders of WeWork, what's his name? Newman. Is it Eric Newman? I don't know. The Newman guy, the founder of WeWork. It's one of his new companies. So guys, this stuff's coming. I don't say this stuff to scare you at all. I say this to prepare you and to help you think outside the box, because as technology changes and speeds up, it's going, as long as you are up to date on it and embracing it, it's going to help you do a better job. You can do so much more. You could do it faster. You're going to need to hire less people in order to do these things. Stay on top of AI. If you're not using it at all, start using it. Dabble. I'm not saying you need to use all the different platforms. Like there's new stuff coming out literally every day that makes my head spin. So just do your best. If you use it, you're going to learn, oh, it can also do this. Oh, it can also do this. And by the way, after you've been using it for a minute, like all of you guys that use ChatGPT, you should go in there today and say, hey, based on everything that I've used ChatGPT for, and based on everything you know about me and what I do for a living, how else could I utilize you? How else could I utilize ChatGPT in my job to sell more houses, to do better marketing, to attract more clients, to make more money, to become more profitable? Incredible stuff. So if your head hurts, I apologize, but I wanted to talk about this because AI freaks a lot of agents out. And I still talk to agents that are like, I'm not using it. I refuse to. I get it. I refused using social media for a long time. Fun fact, my mother was on social media before I was. I never did MySpace. I just totally skipped MySpace because I thought it was stupid. Then Facebook came. I thought that was stupid. My mother got on, I think, a few months before I did. And eventually I was like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And ever since then, I was like, okay, now I get it. That taught me that even though you think something may be stupid, it doesn't mean that the world's going to stop for you. It's going to continue moving and moving and moving. And those that embrace it will thrive. Those that don't embrace it will be left behind. AI, that is more true for AI than anything ever before. It's like if you're an agent that refuses to use the internet, good luck. At some point in the near future, if you refuse to use AI in your business, it's going to be the same thing as just refusing to use the internet at all. So stay positive, keep learning, look for ways to do what you're currently doing better, faster, cheaper. And as long as you're doing that, you're going to continue to progress. And the value that you provide to buyers and sellers and the community in general, it will go up. It will increase. So continue that and you're going to be just fine. I'm excited for what's coming. Change is happening so fast. And it's going to be really interesting to see where we're at a year from now. I hope this episode was helpful for you guys. Please share this with your team leader, share it with your broker, because let's be honest, most brokers kind of have their heads in their ass about technology and even social media. So send this to them, help them wrap their head around what's coming with AI. There's certain brokerages right now, like my brokerage has AI built in to our system. It learns, it gets smarter. It's now anticipating what you'll ask for. A really cool thing that our AI did at my brokerage is if you upload a contract, it will automatically scan it for errors or missing signatures, missing initials, things that should be checked that aren't or whatever. And it'll say, hey, you have 6 errors, and it shows you, and it just automatically does that. Incredible stuff is happening right now, currently today. Make sure you're with a company that embraces technology and isn't just burying their head in the sand. Most brokerages are burying their head in the sand when it comes to AI. And others, there's a very small few, a very, very small few. There might be like 2 or 3 so 3 that I can even think of that are fully embracing AI. Keep an eye on that, because if your company can give you tools to do your job better, faster, more efficient, and do a better job for your client, that's ideal, right? In introducing AI into your workflow, into your process, into managing your business, aside from just the marketing stuff and lead gen, do it all. Do it all. And before we wrap it up, got to give a shout out to Keeping Current Matters. Be the advisor your clients trust with KCM. Keeping Current Matters gives you easy to understand market insights, ready to share graphics, scripts, and they keep you looking like a pro. They help you looking like and sounding like a true advisor to your clients, which is what your goal should be in the first place. Try KCM for free right now over at trykcm.com/BAM and level up your business with BAMx. Courses, masterminds, a network of ambitious agents ready to push you higher, referral network, incredible things happening within the BAMx community. Join now at nowbam.com and use code MASSIVE at checkout and save yourself some money. Get a discount on the BAMx membership. I appreciate you guys listening this week. It's not too late. Go to massiveagentwebinar.com, register. If you're hearing this Wednesday or Thursday when it drops, if you're hearing this a month later, I'm sorry, you're missing out on that training. But guys, embrace the tools that are available to you today. You don't need to be spending an extra 20 hours a week learning about them. In fact, by using ChatGPT or Gemini or a couple others, even though I thought Gemini was crap personally, I think for me, ChatGPT is great, the $30 a month version. It saves me so much time. I'm able to do so much more. The thought of not using it hurts my brain. So I'm hooked. I'm addicted. They've got me. Appreciate you listening. See you guys next week with another awesome episode of the Massive Agent Podcast. Take care.